Look, up in the sky, it's a bird!
It's a plane!
Hoyoverse is one of the smartest gaming companies on earth and the most fortunate and lucky gaming industry as well. They did bring us one of the best open world action RPG that could be played on many platforms and a game that have one of the best performances on mobile. But they also ruined the gacha gaming experience for all players forever. Yes, and the probability to recover from that is very small, and as you know, greed is something that is very hard to pass by if there is no one to punish you for that, although that there are still good companies that are not capitalizing on that, and that is boosting gambling addictions. But hey, there's a disclaimer, it's not intentionally done. It's just like, imagine it like UFC. You go for the fight, you wanna win just to reach a goal, and it's gaining money. It doesn't mean that you are going for the hurt. You don't want to hurt your opponent, but doing that, you're hurting your opponent. Sometimes it leads to other things, concussion, death, and similar things. So you're not thinking about the negative, you're thinking about how to get your positives from that, how to reap money and make more money and win the title, but you hurt your opponent. Similar as these gacha games, they want to go and expand their profits as much as possible, but they do the hurt by it, and they know that they will be hurting by it, but they dismiss that. So let's talk point by point. First, Hoyoverse are smart, and that is true. In 2020, when Blizzard was failing to provide the OG players' needs and the content they asked for, and WoW was no longer that much enjoyable as an open world mob bashing game with farming resources satisfactions, we started to search for any type of game to give us that.
The real problem with like new servers is that there's like nothing actually new. You're just doing it again. Like for example, in PoE, every league, there's like a new meta. There's like new content that you do. Whereas like in retail WoW, or like the, you know, Season of Mastery, I think that's the best example. You're literally just doing the same thing that you did.
Same for me. As a 12 years client that started playing since TBC, I started looking for a different game and I started losing passion for WoW and similar other gacha gamers. They wanted something more, something special other than idling and turn-based. And then in 2020, Genshin Impact dropped and it was such a new experience and a delight, and the honeymoon phase was amazing and did satisfy the players and attracted also younger audience, which is the majority of the player base right now as of 2024. But hold on, we are talking about why they are smart, not lucky. Genshin Impact, yes, was a smart new type of mobile gaming experience that is an open world RPG and a gacha game as well, that you can play anywhere, including your toilet. But the smartness comes because of the massive luck that they had that helped them build their verse, the Hoyoverse. And then came what is arguably the best gacha game of all time, Honkai Star Rail, and now Zenless Zone Zero, and before that Honkai Third Impact, which was also relatively a good game. And now they have games that covers all type of players, from gacha gamers to idle gaming to turn-based to fighting style gaming and so on. But this smartness couldn't happen without the biggest, luckiest human tragedy that happened on Earth, but was the heaven for Hoyoverse, which was the pandemic. Now Hoyoverse are lucky. Saying that they are lucky is an understatement. No one from the gaming companies capitalized on the 2019 pandemic more than Hoyoverse. It was the main pillar that put Hoyoverse on the gaming map. Again, I'm not saying that they were not smart making Genshin Impact, but they were definitely lucky that Genshin Impact release was within the critical point of the pandemic, which was the global lockdown in 2020. Yes, it was a devastating event for all of us, but not that devastating when you become the most profitable gaming company on Earth. People stayed at home, they wanted to pass time and have fun, so your options were streaming services like Netflix or YouTube or Twitch, or simply playing games. And Genshin was one of the most entertaining and successful game at the time, and that is a fact. We all can see numbers. And they were smart that they made this game suitable for gamers of all ages. Let's talk about how Hoyoverse single-handedly destroyed the gacha experience for everyone forever. Now, I'm not sure who started the 50-50 system, but I know who glorified that, and it's none other than your lovely Hoyoverse. Yes, they didn't also let us breathe, they also restricted the most unused gacha banner, which is the weapon banner, for 75-25. You can't even guarantee anything in gacha these days unless you get shafted. Then you know if you were unlucky, you will hit a pity and get what you paid for or saved for. Also, not just the 50-50, but they pushed the pity to 80 and 90, and the regular before that was between 50 and 60. Now, to clarify, they did not do that for the purposes of any malicious intent. They did that all since they saw how lockdown was a tool to get more money from people while they are not spending outside online shopping. So instead of raising prices, they did these restrictions. But what they didn't know that this will lead to bad habits to reach its peak, such as gambling addictions. With the introduction of 50-50, gacha games became the worst casino that targets not only adults but also kids that they never knew about gambling and now experience it with cute pixelated waifus of 2D and 3D art. Some might say, it's okay, it's normal, they all do that. The problem, it's not that games now does that, it's who can stop them.
50-50 champ! Akaron!
So let me give you an example. If you pay a $100 for hitting the pity 3 times, you know that there is no 50-50, you will eventually get the 3 units that you paid for fair and square. If you are lucky, you might get one more or many more. But with the 50-50, you have high chances to get 1 out of the 3 for the same $100. So first time you get shafted, second time it's guaranteed, and if you are unlucky, you get shafted the third time. So your $100 that you can get 3 or more of the same unit that you targeted without the 50-50 is now replaced by an investment of $200 to get that. And if you never had gambling addictions, this introduces your brain, especially youngsters, to a new urge of needing something called gambling.
I hate this. So we've won one 50-50 out of 4. Can I stop spending $200 per copy of Ellen, please? Huh?
Now, I'm not here to spread hate against Hoyo. They never said or intended to go for that purpose. Obviously, all they wanted is to farm players' wallets for money, which is understandable. And then there's other games wanted to use the same thing, and others wanted to take it one step farther. To be honest, I did see worse games that came after that needed to get shafted 4 times, then you can get your character on the 5th. I even covered one of these games called Echocalypse. It's still up, it's still there, shamelessly. So in conclusion, yes, Hoyoverse built an empire with smart teams that brought great games, and yes, they were lucky and capitalized on the situation, which was the pandemic. But they did glorify massively the most horrible act in the gacha space, which no one is punishing or talking about out of fear of not getting sponsored. And I don't understand how it's not punished or getting a rule that bans these 50-50 scam practices and making gaming a better experience. And specifically for us, similar like me in their mentality, content creators that want to have contracts with big companies such as Hoyoverse, we're a little bit afraid, especially with all the things that happens because they're a big company and many people want them to get down or want them to be great. And there's something like contracts, just like similarly with the one that was exposed for Zenless Zone Zero and things like, oh, you should sign with them, you shouldn't sign with them, this is bad, this is good. We are afraid of these type of practices, especially when they back content creators because they have contracts with them, and these content creators are psychopaths.
I didn't edit Brax out of the photo, it's a different photo. It's a different photo.
And I just follow the advice of other content creators. And as the great best gacha streamer slash YouTuber Tekton himself said, I'm not a mint picker.
A mint picker. Because all he does is go live on Genshin Impact and pick mint.
By the way, thank you Tekton for saving my life back in 2020. I'll talk about that later. And now I would love to thank you all for the support. We hit 5k subs with 6 months. That's awesome. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. If you didn't, I thank you for watching. And as always, stay frosty. Peace.